When you're presenting online, there's different ways to do things. We don't always have to do what we've always done. So if you've been on lots of Zoom meetings and you've had a bit of Zoom gloom and everyone's a bit like, oh, I'm sick of Zoom meetings, I'm sick of being online meetings, there's different ways you can liven it up. You can use some icebreakers at the beginning. I'm sure you can Google those. There's loads of those. Some icebreakers will work online. I've got a few that I use myself. The other thing I would really encourage you to do is to use props. So don't actually look at using slides all the time, because that can bring a bit of Zoom gloom. So I did a session just earlier today on Zoom, and it was me speaking to the camera and it was me doing some interaction. I got people to pick a card. So I had that kind of interaction thing with loads of kind of index card type things. And I got them to pick a card, tell me when to stop. And then I'll talk about that. So I did that. That's a nice little exercise to use. But basically, you use props. Don't always default to slides, because remember, you can pull. If you're worried, slides are often, particularly like bullet-driven slides, are often because people are worried about forgetting what they said. Now, when you're presenting on Zoom, it's really easy, because at the side of the screen, there's my hand, and just off the screen there, you can blue tack notes, cards, anything you want all the way around the screen. And you can blue tack stuff all around so you don't forget. You don't want to read, because changing your eye line would be different. You want to keep your eye line on the camera, but you can glance at stuff and do that. But what you need to do is maybe just sometimes ditch the slides, be confident in yourself, do some expertise, tell them your expertise and tell them stuff, and then just use props. So I've got a little shelf here underneath, and I've got props. These are famously 3 props that I use. I have a little bell for when your brain goes ding, and I have a slightly bigger one, posher one. Ooh, and I talk about this kind of stuff. And then I have a real comedy one, which is massive. Got it off eBay. I can't remember. I don't know what kind of hotel would have this, but you can hear how loud it is. So I use props, all sorts of things, and I've even got a bouncy ball that you can use. You can bounce a ball up. Looks kind of cool on the camera. So you've got lots of things and lots of different things you use. So don't be afraid to use props. Don't be afraid to look around your office and collect stuff, just to make that Zoom presentation more interesting and more engaging. Don't always go to default the slides, because some people will have they won't know how to change it on Zoom. So they'll have you in full, they'll have the slide in full screen and then you in a tiny thing in the corner. And again, you lose that impact, because they don't know about side-by-side mode, where you can have them same thing, have them the same size. So there's all sorts of technical stuff that prevents you. But, just use props. Use something different. Be creative. Can you juggle? Can you do something else? Something that will catch people on the guard. Something that will help them to remain engaged. So, it's over to you. It's a prop, you see. The ball is now in your court. Use props. Keep the Zoom meetings engaged. All the best. Cheers.